Tell you start from where you are. That's a very wrong statement. Very wrong statement. Okay. Start from where you are. That's where you are is out the result of where you came from. If you're struggling and you're not going well, start from where you are. Where you are is the place you don't want to be, right? You start from the beginning. The beginning of every outcome is thought. You write it down. So, so you don't start from where you are, start from the beginning. Every life you want, start from the content of your thoughts. So this is just like you guys are coming for the first time to start the business of social network. And I don't use the word network marketing because that's a wrong definition of what you're supposed to be doing. Social has to do with people. Social networking has to be connecting with people. And what you want to do is to convert your network into a capital of human assets. The transactions that happens in your social network, if the people there are of a certain quality of mind, certain quality of competence, transactions there will lead to market. So we're not going to beg people to come and join us. They would desire to be what we are. Does that make sense? They'll do what? What we are will be what they desire to be, right? So, and I said growth is tied to time. Write it down. Growth is tied to time. Growth is tied to time. So you want to write this down. If you want to grow, invest your time. See, if you want to grow, invest your time to feeding your mind with the right mix of knowledge. And practices to enhance the competences and observations of mentors to improve your character. 3 things you're supposed to do. You want growth is tied to time. Without time, you can't grow. You can't just like now. I already know that for next 6 months, I'm going to be available. Like after this one, I'll go. We'll do some assignment. Maybe we'll put up another program. Next, we'll be online. I'm teaching you, guiding you. Then maybe 1 month after, we have gotten some results. We're no longer the same person. If I come back next time, this event will be bigger. So, do you agree? So,
yes.
So time happens to growth. Make sense? But because people who brought you in never factored growth as a process, they only give you an event for an outcome without telling you the process involved for your own growth. Because it is your growth, your own personal growth that sustains the outcome. And this growth is learning, feeding your mind with the right mix of knowledge, which will be teaching you. Okay, practices to enhance your competences and observation of people who are doing the right thing to improve your character. What do I mean? When a child is in the house, as the person is growing, he's observing the parents. Character is formed by observation. You don't teach character. You don't teach be kind. When a child sees you being kind, he emulates kindness. Does that make sense? You don't teach my child to be faithful, be honest. Don't do that. It is when things happen in the house and your child lies. You correct him in that you are supposed to be telling the truth. My children, they sometimes it's Alex. He says that I didn't take it. I said, if you told me the truth, I would not punish you because you told me the truth. We'll look at what you did, whether it's wrong or right. But not telling me the truth creates another problem. I get the point. But kids are not born with good character. They observe it. That makes sense? So part of the essential ingredients in this relationship is that I can't teach you from afar. I don't make it sense. I'm not doing it because I'm a good man. No, I'm not doing it because I'm a good. No. It's an essential ingredient for growth. Others, I will teach you, you have a different, I can teach you about something, but your experience does not support what I'm teaching you. So you go and practice it the way you practice what you have been having before. So I must come and model a different, for example, by the time we do this training for 3 days, people get real value. You find that you can't teach less than 3 days again. Because the real money in networking is not how much you make, how many people you can sustain. If you know it's about people, your goal is growing the people. You know what I'm saying? One of us, half of us can say, go, Mr. Go. Maybe somebody under, what's your name, sir? The richest invite somebody who's a friend of his, who loves to learn. And the person comes and then invites other people. And then in the chain of those people you're inviting, you already know the quality of knowledge they're going to receive. One of them says, my God, this is good. He takes it upon himself to grow this in grow this business in Kenya. And I'm not going to Kenya. Remember that guy is under your tree. I get the point. So the networking business is not supposed to collapse your profession. It's supposed to enhance it. But you get to the point, you now find that your networking is more powerful, giving you the result. You can, out of your own choice, decide to transit to make it a fund. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not something you do as an intervention. If you ever go to leave your job, it will be out of the choice of this is what my heart wants. Not out of somebody trying to cajole you to try to make money the next day. Because growth is tied to time. So we're going to invest our time. Those 2 hours you're supposed to be doing Facebook and nobody is listening to you. Those 3 hours you're going to be gossiping. Those 4 hours you'll be just. I'm saying, don't stop what you're doing. Those free times you're using to do nonsense can be put together to do something useful in our lives. So before you, I flew my boy from Owerri, from Lake Nigeria. So you can see for yourself that this is universal. He's going to make a presentation that's been with me for years now. And people almost, last 2 years, they almost took him away from me. They presented one scheme like that, trying to bombard his mind. Luckily, but he has someone he calls. I said, listen, I'm not asking you to do that, not to do the business. I said, I'm not asking, but you will not join that business because of the money. You will join that business because you want to come. And the thing that is going to harass you in that business, that if you, for some reason, people told you how wonderful it is, and you get involved, of course, I'm the last person you're going to call because I would want you to do more than anybody in that business. But I can tell you what I know about you. You're more of a community leader. You're more of a person that raises people. I can see it in you. Money will always follow value wherever it goes, not those who need it. So I want you guys to pay attention and let's hear from one of my sons as he teaches us on how to maintain mentorship. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hector Ikena.
Thank you very much, sir. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ikenna Okechukwu, and if you call me Hector, you're still not wrong. Same person. I want to appreciate Mr. Ogo for giving me this privilege. Please, I want you guys to celebrate Mr. Ogo. From me, thank you. Thank you, sir. I usually tell people that I'm a product of mentorship, and all my life, I could say, I could talk like Abraham Lincoln. He said, all that I am, I owe to my grandmom. So I could say all that I am, I owe to my mentor. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so I'll be talking about maximizing mentorship. So I met Mr. Ugo sometime in 2014. So you can count how many years now. And it's been a rewarding experience. So sometimes I look back and I wonder if I didn't follow, what would have been of me. But thank God I did. And Everything I wanted and more. I'm finding it and I'm happy. And there's always a profound statement Mr. Ugo always make, and that statement never leaves me, because sometimes we want to run, and like go and meet it, go and hit it big. But you always say something, whatever your mates made or achieved with speed, you will achieve with wisdom. That is my headline. So from that day, anything called envy, competition is dead. So you can be watching people leapfrog or run ahead. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you are on your path. Now, some of those that seem to have overtaken us since those times, now they are stuck. They are coming back to wonder, how can we get it back? But sometimes it's better to maintain the right path than to lose it and try to come back. Sometimes it's too late. And many people just begin to live a life of quiet desperation. They begin to say, I wish. I know people at 30 are saying, I wish. At 30, I wish I knew better. But life could have not been better than what it is for me right now. So I'm so glad I'm living right at the center of my personal purpose and legend. So thank you once more, Mr. Ugo. That's my picture with Mr. Ugo last year. So everything I'm going to be talking about is basically all I've learned relating with Mr. Ugo as a mentor. And I hope that will bless you. So first thing to note is the purpose of mentorship. Why do we engage in mentorship? Number one is mentors serve as a model. And like what you were just telling us, character is imbibed by observation. It's not what you teach. We talk so much about greatness in Africa, but we see mediocrity every day. And the truth is this, we don't just become what we say, we become what we see. And when we don't have models to follow or to look at, we don't become what we see, we become what we see. So we talk a lot of big things, but like we've known, if you stay under Mr. Ugo, you share these things normally. Yes, we say big things, and that's why we say we can be this person, we can be big. Those confessions. At the end of the day, it seems like it's not working. What are you saying? What you're saying is more powerful than what you're saying. So we need mentors as models. That's the power of mentors. So, Doc, what you missed is that I said I'm talking about purpose of mentorship. And I said, why do we need a mentor? That's the question I'm trying to answer. And I said, the first thing is that mentors serve as a model. Why do I mean that? What do I mean by that? It means that beyond the talk, mentors take us to the place of sight. Like Mr. Ugo said just before he introduced me, you don't gain character by teaching. No, you gain it by observation, right? He said it. Now, what it means is that I said we talk so much about big things and greatness in Africa, but what we see every day is mediocrity, and that's what we repeat. So we have the big talk, but our result is not matching what we're saying because we are not seeing the models to follow. Does it make sense? Mm-hmm. Now, the worst part of it in business is that everyone thought, just before I met Mr. Ugo, everyone thought that the purpose of doing business is to make money. But Mr. Ugo has made us understand that no, it's not. That money will always follow value. So that's change. It's not something you find out there. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody hustle. Like the hustle, every opportunity. He's teaching us that you can sit down and craft a vision and follow. Even when the economy is not looking like it, you are still taking root until it turns out to what you want. That's the process of creation and all that. That's a model to say. I mean, I'm able to stay put in my own path because I've seen him walk his path. I mean, 2020, 2018, 19, 20, he was telling me about build in the secret, perform in the public. And whatever we're seeing the last 2-3 years in his life, things he said in 2018, 19, and 20. I mean, what a joy to sit back and see someone say things and build it and make it happen. It gives me the confidence that mine could happen too. So that's what models do for us. Second of it is Second purpose of mentors is that they help us minimize errors. Like you were just sharing my story. I just started an organization called Bedrock Initiative in Owerri, and I shared the vision with him. He said, "Go ahead, and with you." Just some months, because of the traction we've gained, some persons came, brought the business, like trying to the social capital. And truth is that because of where I sit, the profit that they made me see, the money I'll make, it was huge for me. And I saw it. It was like, I'm going to make this money. But then he heard about it. And then asked me, how did you get in this? Start telling me. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't just jump in. Like, I forgot about, how you can get distracted without even referring back to your mentor. And then they've already printed flyers with my name, like my picture in this middle of it, like to bring everybody. I've gained some social capital and they wanted to use it. So he told me, no, this thing, you can't just be part of it. And I said, immediately he said that and showed his displeasure. I said, sir, I will not be in that event. My picture was the center picture. That day, I did not show up. They called my line, just wonder what happened. I did not show up. And that was the end of it. Now, I look back at my life, like what we just did, which I'll show you some pictures some weeks ago. And I knew that if I had gone that step, if I had taken that step, I wouldn't have achieved what we're doing currently. There's no way I would have not taken that opportunity if there was no mentor telling me, no, don't do this. Because what he's seen in me, truth be told, it's taking me like 2 years now to understand what he was saying then. I didn't understand it then, but I know I believe him and I know whatever he's seeing is bigger than what I am seeing. So no need, I can follow. So there's certain things that cannot be explained. You just have to follow the mentor. Now, I can share specific examples. Talk about marriage. This is something that everyone talk about. Once you get to 30, everyone's saying, can't marry. And my friends, everyone was rushing to marry. But when we talk about marriage, he said, no, calm down. I know your path. Take mine. So when people say all those things, it doesn't bother me anymore. One of the things that make us do things we want to do is out of pressure. But mentors stay there for you. The fact that no matter what the whole world is saying, I look back and mentors say, do this, and there, I don't even care what all of you are saying. And I think if I didn't, like my friends who entered marriage earlier, I mean, there's this sign of, I wish I didn't. They look at what we're doing now, they're like, Hector, see, you are living the life we prayed for. And that's because they did not wait, just delay gratification a little. Okay, no, I'm not saying we should not get married, but understand your part. And that's what the method did. That's right. How can I forget this? How can I forget this? Just give back. I talk about my friends so much. So many of them are so talented, but they are not making so much progress because they didn't just hit to those advice. I don't know how pressure took them off. Just recently, I told him about the course I wanted to go and do abroad. I felt like he was going to add a lot of feathers to my cap. The counsel he gave me, I sat back and said, God, thank God he did. And my mind, if I go outside and do that course, maybe 1 year, 2 years, he told me no. It might take up to 5 years. And when I sat back analyzing, what he said is totally correct. And by the time I'm back, I've lost traction. I start back again what I've built. That's how I killed those decisions. These 3 instances, if any of them I missed his counsel, I wouldn't have been tired. And God knows I would have not been happy, even after achieving those things. So mentors help us minimize errors in our work. Number 3, to avoid pain. Pain is an experience of loss. Pain is part of life, but when we have a mentor, we avoid the risk of pain. And I'll explain for the next point. 4th, to expand our beliefs. There's a book I read by Malcolm Gladwell. Funny enough, Mr. Stu introduced us to Malcolm Gladwell. Before we met Mr. Stu, we used to read all the very good books. We read all the books. But then when you meet new mentors, he tells you authors that you've never heard about. And you wonder, how come I've been reading one side of life? Now, Malcolm Gladwell said, life is like an inverted U. And I agree with him because since I found out this thing, it's been working for me. I'm going to use to explain a belief system. Sometimes the things that we start out life with can become an opposition to our progress in life. So example is, a young man, you start growing, and everybody's saying be modest, be modest. It's a good thing as you're growing up. At certain level, when you begin to hit certain levels in life, you need some level of leverage. You need to expand your reach. You need to expand. For example, if someone said, without the mentality of what dog has, you won't want to go and think, I've not been to the evaluation tomorrow, but for the name already, I just know it has to be someone that was thinking big to do it. Now, the mentality of poverty, where many of us grew up from, cannot do that thing. You'll be thinking of doing one small, shitty thing, but the mentor tell you, no, increase it, go. And you're like, I cannot do this thing. Let me give you a practical example. When we did our last program, which we call Away Business Week, when I printed the ticket, mentor said that the master class would be 150,000. My head said 150,000 for one day is too much. People won't pay. I said, put it there. That's what it is. You know what? Personally, I wouldn't have believed it. This is the second year. First year we did it, I was like, oh God, this will just be my total disgrace. We will just see how I fly, everybody should go. But you know what? He's talking from where he stands. That is nothing for his sessions. But I'm talking from where I'm standing. But I have to take his own experience, leverage on it. It's okay. We put in the flyer, we're asking which class is 100,000. So my job is to talk about him. And the truth is this. Once you know you have someone that can meet up any name you put on him, there's no problem. So I used to tell people in text message, if you come and you do like it, 100% guarantee I'll return your money. People say, you mean? I say, yes, I can sign it before time. So before you know it, people showed up. So last year was my first time of experiencing it. He has given me an experience to do a program and people pay 100,000 naira for one day. Nobody knows that and from where I come. It doesn't happen in that place. It doesn't happen. There's no way the trainings I had in life from, in fact, even my own father would tell me no. Even if I was there, if I was to pay, my own father would tell me not to go because it's not part of the belief systems that grew us. Now, there's one of our friends he's been doing so well in a way, and he has quite some money. But one day I thought about beliefs. He came to me personally. I thought, even though he is rich in terms of financial resources, but he said one of the things that keep bothering him is he cannot grow further than where he is right now because of the belief systems he had growing up. So the question is, how do we break up when we've gone this far? You know, when you're working hard, you're working hard. When you get to the level where you say you're leading teams of 1,000, hard work will even kill you. You now need a leverage system or leverage kind of leadership. At that moment, you need to remove your hands and start working through people. You start plateauing if you don't understand it. These things are in your belief system, and belief systems are the core of our being. So what the mentor does, once you get here, imagine you're leading a team of 100. At that point, you can be everywhere. 200, 300, we get 500. No, that thing won't work. Now, you need another kind of model. But because you're addicted to work, most times you want to do everything by yourself. Remember the story of Moses? But the mentor said, no, watch him relax. See, the last program we had is the biggest I've ever done in my life. Yet, I had more peace than ever. Because I learned to relax. I don't know if, they will get it done. I came late that day of the event. Everything was done. And I felt proud saying, I've raised people that can do this without me. But if you don't understand the concept of letting go some of those things and you started with, you will still be struggling with people. And at the end of the day, because life does not tolerate static movement, you start going down. Because life does not tolerate static motion, you start going down. So that's why people who are doing so well, all the mechanics and all the strategies they use to grow, because at a certain level, you need another kind of strategy. Like leverage is something else you need to learn. Leverage, it's something that you can't run a team. Let's imagine in this Accra, you're running a team, the whole Ghana. It's not by this hard work. No, it takes another kind of mentality, another kind of system. But if you don't understand it, you might think you are failing because those moments you stop doing a lot of hands-on and start doing more pre-work. You start doing more of training. But it's a mentor that will help you know that don't charge you, you're right. You need that assurance. And that's how to break this inverted view of life. So when you get to this plateau, what happens? Instead of going down, you do like this and continue. That is what happened. What has happened to me personally in the last couple of years. And I said, beliefs are powerful. We will always return to what we believe, not what we speak. Beliefs are core of our being. And I'll give you specific beliefs that has held me back before now. As a person, I know where I'm going to, which I've said, he knows my vision very well. We're going to a point where I want to change our country. That is the vision. Now, one of the things I learned is that, of course, for you to do that, you have to be a leader. What does it take to be a leader? Growing up, you got to be nice. Hello? Do you have some nice people in the house? Okay, great. Until Mr. Go teaches you that the root word for nice is stupid. And you're like, what the heck? Like you go to Google and check and see it, stupid. Then you now begin to understand the conflict you're having with people. The nicer you get, the worse your leadership. You now understand. It's a lot to break that belief, because when Mr. Go is doing certain things, sincerely, I would think this man is just wicked. But the truth is this: just following will make you understand he has passed through all these things. So all those niceness you are trying to do, he has done it, it has beaten him. Why do you want to go through that path? So if I had not learned early, so I started changing because I'm not nice. Like people try to even do something, use you and now give you the compliment. You are so nice. And in trying to retain that compliment or their favor, you keep killing yourself, chipping away your power without knowing. But you need to come to a point of being firm. You can swim against the tide. I mean, his leadership has told me that even all of us here says is left, that doesn't mean it is correct. He has taught me that. And niceness teaches that, okay, because everyone has said we are going left, my leader should just agree. No, it's not my leadership I've learned from him. No, all of you can say it's left and you say it's right. And then discover he was right. That is what we've learned. You cannot do that kind of leadership if you don't attack your belief system. Second specific example he taught me. We used to think that to influence people, let them like you. We still go say you don't succeed by popular opinion. God. And we still go just have the right words that hit you. Let me tell you one of the words he shared with us 2015. These words shaped my life. So the purpose of life is not to be happy, but to be useful. Because everybody wants to be happy. Everybody wants to be, the purpose of life is not to be happy, but to be useful. It made so much sense. Because if you check everybody wants to do something that will make them happy. There's a popular song in Nigeria that says, allow me to enjoy myself. Like that's what everybody wants. But that word shaped me. So I'm not more looking for happiness, I'm looking for usefulness. But in usefulness, I find happiness. Third example, we used to think that for you to succeed, increase your efforts. We still go say, no, that your outcome is determined by your definition, not your effort. And like, oh my God, like you still go shatter those things. Okay. You see, with this one, let's be honest, some of us will start getting these classes next 1 year. Some could be 1 month, some could be 2 years. That's when someone will be waking up and say, wow, that's what he was saying. But it's fine, let's continue. The faster, the better for you. Your outcome in life is not determined by your effort, but by your definition. It sounds like cliche. That's why sometimes when I post these words, I end up becoming controversial online. So I don't have to argue anymore with people. No need. Just do your thing. I do my thing. Success will tell the results. So definitions matter. I began to redefine everything. Listen, I took time to redefine everything. What does wife mean to me? What does money mean to you? What happiness? I define everything for not by general definitions. So I can working on my definition. You're working on your own. Everybody just working on their path. It's not a general thing. Life is personal. Am I making sense now?
Yes, my brother. Carry on.
Which one? By your efforts, but by your definition. Yes. I used to have quarrel with my dad a lot. So when you make mistakes, one of the things that happens is you get to have quarrel with your close friends and family. And that is true of Jesus. He said, no one can follow me except he abandon mother, father. I was so convinced in what he was saying because you see the coherence. One of the best truths is the coherence of the information. I told my dad sometimes when I moved to Abuja, sometime in 2016, 17, my dad came over to my house and stayed with me for a while because he was being attended to the hospital in Abuja. And we were talking about marriage, and he told me it's not good for a woman to know how much you have. And I'm like, that it's your wife, you know, that kind of, and I'm like, it's your wife. No, that's his belief. I can't change it. My dad is 70, in his 70s. There's no need. So many things he taught us. Okay, my dad just tell us things like, don't watch, you should not watch TV, it's bad, and all those kind of stuff. That's fine. And we imbibed it. Then when I met Mr. Go, he made my life easier. So I lived as a young man. I had a TV, like he said in his own house. It's not working. It's just for you to know you can buy TV. So I had TV that was there, and there was nothing working. Now, when my dad came, he now told me, because he was always staying alone, he said he missed news. He's a journalist. She puts the decoder for him so he can watch news and all that. I said, Dad, there's no TV in this house. So his book I read. And like play, he looked at my shelf. I went out that day because he stays in the house while I go to work. I went out, brought out like 4 or 5 books. I dropped it for him. It's to help your life. I gave him one on marriage, one on parenting. I said, these things you've never read anything about them, and we are all grown up. It's not bad for you to start, revisiting them. And my dad said to me today that the best times of his life was those moments he read those books. Before he left my house, he has already read books, series of books, and summarized them. Now, we cannot have conversations because knowledge has influenced his beliefs. So some of the things that we used to quarrel about before, we don't quarrel at all. He's Mr. Go's fan now. Very well, he's fan. He attends. Once he's in town, he will ask, is there anything he wants? As knowledge can change your belief systems. And it's only a mentor that will expose it for you. Now, number 5 rather, to interpret our vision and dreams. Many of us have vision and dreams, but we don't understand it. The Bible said something in 1 Timothy, Apostle Paul says, study to show yourself approved. A workman that needs not to be ashamed, but what? Rightly dividing the word of truth. The key word is rightly. All of us divide, but not rightly. Many of us have visions, but the problem is, are we rightly interpreting it? And Mr. Go will teach that vision is abstract. There's so many people that are supposed to be president, but president of what? Some will not end up president of Tomato Sellers Association, who are supposed to be president of the country because you did not have a mentor. The Bible said in the book of Acts chapter 7, what made Moses heal the Egyptian was a vision he had. Moses did not just wake up. The Bible said that, and something entered him in his heart. Something entered, that thing that entered him, it's God's vision calling Moses and calling to deliver these people. Remember what the Bible said in Proverbs 21 verse 1? Say, for the heart of the kings are in the hands of the Lord. He turned it whithersoever. Somewhere in Revelation, the Bible also said that he put his purpose, Revelation chapter 17 verse 17, that he put his purpose in the hearts of men. But in Acts chapter 7 verse 23, something entered Moses. He went to visit the children of Israel and to seek their welfare. Yeah, from when he was in the 40th year, yes, it came into his heart. What came into his heart? It was a vision. But there was no mentor to interpret it. What happened? Verse 24. And seeing one of them suffer wrong, he defended and avenged him who was oppressed and struck down the Egyptian. Verse 25. For he supposed, you see the word supposed, without mentorship, assumption comes into your life. He supposed that his brethren would have understood that God would deliver them by his hand, but they did not understand. See, I grew up wrong. I had passion. We're going to change Nigeria. It's one of men still tell you, see, this thing you want to do, if you bring it up, people that want you will fight you. That's the people you really want to do. That's what they did to Moses. Moses didn't have a mentor. What happened? Because of this little mistake or the huge mistake, Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before God called him again at 80. One error can cost 40 years out of your life. But if Moses had the mentor and discussed that I have passion for these people, how do we deliver them? He would have given him strategy. You would have told him, don't just go there and go and fight. Go and start educating them. And that's what we're doing. There's no need trying to, for me, I wanted to just join politics and join. No. The person, what we're doing, we're preparing the ground for the time. The people that will vote for us, we're educating them. Am I making sense at all? So a mentor helps you interpret your vision very well. Another example that comes to mind is Joseph. What if Joseph had a mentor? Some pastors preach the 4 P's to greatness, and they use Joseph example. Number 1 P, the pit. Number 2 P, Potiphar's house. Number 3 P, prison. Number 4 P, the palace. I mean, it sounds nice, but somehow, do you think really God is that mean? Allow you pass through pits, Potiphar's house? Gosh, I don't think that was God's program. It's just a man that made mistake. Let me explain. If Joseph had a mentor, he would have told him, you are talking too much. When you had that dream, keep it to yourself. Go and pray about it. Go and seek interpretation. Go and devise strategy. There's always people called revelational knowledge. You've heard that class of knowledge before. You can't start a session without teaching you that part. Like, that was revelational knowledge. But he didn't have theoretical knowledge. So he was talking. He was brewing their envy. The father if the Bible says even the father had to keep it to his heart. He's the son now. But the brothers were so envious that they had to kill him. The mentor would have told him, quiet. Tame your excitement. Work hard in the secrets. Don't worry, you perform in the public. He would have not gone to the pit. He would have not gone to Potiphar's house if he just maintained the path of strategy. But he didn't know that, so he was talking anyhow. And then that happened. He couldn't even interpret his own dream. What pain is supposed to teach you, mentors teach you. So Joseph learned how to interpret dreams through pain. By the time he was in the prison, he was now the one calling people to interpret their dreams. Did you see him go to any school? He has to learn to sit down and interpret dreams. By then, he understood his dream very well. It was pain. If Joseph had a mentor, these are specific times I think about, when Potiphar's wife was making advances, he was supposed to know that there is trouble. A mentor would have told you there is big trouble. He kept quiet and was still doing his normal thing. Nice guy. I will say no. And once I say no, that's it. That thing took him almost 12 years in prison. He didn't do anything. But you know what? It's good to be innocent, but it's also good to be wise. That's the mistake some people make because they didn't have a mentor. So the question is, do you have a mentor? Some of us think we have dreams and visions and we understand them. When a mentor interprets it for you, you see how large it is. Number 6, to affirm our resolve. To affirm our resolve. What does it mean? Mentors hold us accountable. They help us maintain focus. Someone said the only reason why people fail is broken focus. If I had deviated just 1 centimeter, just 1 meter from what I started with, I won't be here. And some damages you make can take you lifetime to repair. So mentors help you maintain and affirm your resolve. Everybody's supposed to be accountable. Myths about mentors. Number 1, a mentor is not your idol. So you don't have to worship your mentor. Doesn't mean the presence of your mentor should not freeze your brain from thinking. In fact, he appreciates you that you think. A mentor is not perfect. Mike Murdoch said, mentorship is perfect advice from an imperfect person. Mentorship is what? From an imperfect person. So the fact that I hear some people say, this man used to be my mentor, but then you hear him say something on radio, or you didn't like, say, how can this man that says my mentor say this thing? He has his life to live. Some of them make mistakes, and that's not your problem. Follow your path. And when people say something like familiarity, I say, see, familiarity is not supposed to be bad because it's family. Do you grow familiar with your family? So because you now have You now stay in the same confine with your mentor, say you now be that because of familiarity. You are stupid. You are very stupid. It's like saying you're out of because you are living in the same house as your father for 20 and I said one day that you are stupid. How can you do that? How can you do that? So when you see the imperfection of a man, it is not a permission to abuse him. It's not permission to lose your respect. Every one of us have our own. Mentor is the same. You know what brought you to him. Stay on that line. Remember, your mentor is not your sponsor. Some people come to mentors with family problem. And that's why they shut their doors from you. You're looking for mentor. Next thing you're telling him how your school fees has not been paid, your mom died yesterday. How that's supposed to be his problem? That's why when you call, he's saying, one thing I don't like my mentor, he does not pick my call. Why would he pick your call? He has problems he's dealing with. Why add you? Is there any payment for being a mentor to someone? No. So why do you think he wants to add you? The protege pursues the mentor does not pursue the protege. So he's not your sponsor. Please don't add. He has family, he has extended family, he has brothers, he has sisters, he has his own personal issues. Don't become another one. And that's something people don't easily get mentors. 4, a mentor does not make the journey easier. Something Mr. Go just told me before we came. The mentor does not make the journey easier. He makes it simpler. What's the difference? The easy is the fact that someone removed the process and gave you the outcome. No. Simple person has shown you the process. It can even give you the result, but still make you go through the process. It doesn't cut it short for you. And so I was thinking about the wisdom of Jesus. So he just died on the cross, he gave us victory. Now we are victorious. Did you die on the cross? He took your sin, bore the thing. But after everything, forgiving you, giving you the crown, you are not seated in heavenly places, but you have to walk. He said, now come and work out your salvation with fear and trembling. That's the wisdom of God. The thing is that you are assured of victory, but the process you will not cut short. That's simple. If I tell you that, if you're hungry now, we tell you that there's $1 million waiting for you outside this road, and you are so sure, no matter who is owing you or who you are owing, if the person is coming, you'll be bragging, don't worry, if I get there, I'll give you your money. That assurance of the money is there can make you even talk to the person anyhow, have some confidence, because there's assurance. And that's what mentors give us. They give that assurance. And it's not vague assurance. It's not empty assurance. It is true. They've been there. They've seen it. So anxiety is eliminated in your life when you have a mentor. A mentor is not necessarily your friend.
Excuse me, can I ask a question, please?
It doesn't have to please you. And that's what friends do. All of us have sentiment for our friends. No. A mentor can be mean. It's his job to be mean. So don't expect him to be always be nice, pleasing, he's smiling, I'm not smiling. Today I came, he didn't smile. It's not his thing. It's not your friend. If he wants to be friendly, it's fine. He determines his tone. You don't determine. It's not your guy. You come and say, today I'm not smiling, you're not treating me this way. You know what? The moment you start bringing those things into the equation, he's taking note. Tomorrow when you call, you want to see him, no, you can't see me. Wondering why he's not seeing you. Why? Because you are trying to determine his form. You don't determine his form. He determines his form. He can appear today as a father. Tomorrow he appears as a friend. You're not the one to tell him his mood. He's the one that chooses you. He's your mentor. A mentor is not your problem solver. It's something we do. Most times we carry problems to mentors. And let me tell you what happens. When problems stays ahead, we shut down our mind from thinking. So I said an intelligent person is one who knows how to convert problems to questions. Is one who knows how to convert problems to questions. You know what, in a project, there's a statement of problem. When you finish stating the problem, now states the question. That's what your project is supposed to deal with, or the objectives. You must use to extract or deceive. Nothing is so big, it's just that our minds are small. But the first step to solving a problem is to ask the right questions. And Tony Robbins said, he will get a better answer, he will get a beautiful answer who asks a beautiful question. So So instead of us asking questions, every problem is a question. But because we are not intelligent enough to extract the question the problem is posing, we come with problems to the mentor. So the mentor wants to be, he has other issues now. But why making him come down to noise one? Bring him up small, bring the question. The question, he brings out, he stimulates his creativity. But when you come with problems, you shut him down. He has more problems. His wife can be giving problems. His children are giving problems. His family, why are you going to be another problem? So convert your problems to questions before you meet your mentor. What then is mentorship? Mentorship is impartation of knowledge. That's what it's about. Don't forget this definition. Mentorship is what? Impartation of knowledge. It's not for funfair, it's not to flock around, it's not for celebrity. You can have a mentor who is known all over the world. It's not for you to always snap picture and say, hey, here's my mentor. I know people who do that just to say, I know him. I see my picture with him now. We fly again, see I'm with him, video. Don't worry. See, the thing is, mentors are twice wise as you. So they know when that is your goal. They smell it from afar and dynamics change. Mentorship is a relationship. So it's a form of knowledge impartation through what? Relationship. I said, how do you get a mentor, or who should be your mentor? Your mentor is not necessarily who shares the same vision as you, but what should share with you is what? Values. Your mentor shares common values with you, not necessarily the same vision. So check out for values. Does it make sense? Now, these are some of his words. I've not heard some of these words. You know, sometimes when I stay in mysterious class, I'm like, Peter, when Jesus told them, shall you not go from me? Everybody has left me. You remember that part? Shall you not go? Peter said, son, father, where shall we go? For who has these words of life? Now, these are some of the words he spoke. One, he said, a mentor is one who makes himself increasingly unnecessary in your journey. I can't forget these words in my life. Some of these spoke 2015. They are in my subconscious. They're my unconscious. You know what it means? Any person that makes you continuously dependent on him is not necessarily a mentor. It could be your sponsor. The more a person trains you, the less you need the person. That's the proof that the training is working. A mentor is one who gives you the results you don't qualify for. Why qualifying you for that outcome? These are his words. Dr. K, I'm sure maybe if Mr. Go did not come, you might not be able to do the event tomorrow or fill the hall like that. But it is your event. He has come. We're using his power to pull that. And what will happen tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, is the results you have gotten through him. That doesn't mean you will not do the work, because after he leaves, you have to sustain it. And in sustaining, you will now learn the real mentorship. But if we start waiting to give you that push for you to attain, 1 year could have gone. But see results. Now you've seen assurance of the results. See it. No, you will double your efforts to meet up the results he has given you. That's what mentors do. So by doing so, I want to say success does not have shortcut. I discovered is a lie. Success has shortcuts. And mentorship is the shortcut to success. I was literally awake all night. I didn't feel it except till I came here. I said, you know why? When a mentor tells you to do something, uncommon energy comes upon you. But if you were waiting to grow on your pace, forget it. I said, let me be on my. No, you need a mentor to draw you. You will get to 50 and start achieving what you achieved at 30. He says, don't just desire a mentor, deserve a mentor. And I will touch it how to deserve a mentor. Everybody desires a mentor. Everybody talks, say, mentor, we need mentor, we need mentor. It's the first part of it, but the deserving, we'll talk about it as we move on.
Yes.
2 categories of mentors. Number 1 is a general mentor. Often we can call a general mentor a super mentor. You know why? Because he's like your Superman. He seems to know everything. He's well versed in almost every aspect of life. He's taught scripture, he's his family is there, you know, that kind of person. And that's what Mr. Go stand for me. Is almost there's no part of it, nothing I want to know, you not give me answer. Now, after general mentor, you can have specific mentors. Have your family coach or mentor, you have your pastor, your spiritual mentor, you have your fitness mentor, you can have some people have emotions coach or relationship coach. So that's two broad categories. So it's for you to place it in your workplace. You could have a man that you admire where he climbed the corporate ladder. Make him your career mentor. It's fine. But when you merge the power of these two, you discover how powerful you are. One person giving it to you with a holistic view to life, because the general mentor is very important. We need world views to survive. It's him that gives you a world view. It's in your world view that you now situate yourself properly in your various spheres. Does it make sense? So let's do some protege talk. Like I said, don't forget, I'm a product of mentorship. So I am a full-time protege. I am a full-time protege. I can tell you that. So Niccolo Machiavelli said, you can't be advised if you are not naturally wise. Now, this is one of the reasons why people don't maximize mentorship. Because they come to mentorship with folly. You cannot build something on nothing. You have to come with some certain level of wisdom. Truth is this. All of us here might not be able to be under Mr. Go's mentorship. Not because he will not accept you, but because you cannot follow. You cannot decode. So it's now left for you, it's not for him. So there's what life does, natural selection. It happens in mentorship too. The degree of wisdom you exercise will determine how far you can follow. In the next 3 months, like he said, we'll know the difference in this class. You see, people have used what he has said. What's the difference? Is they had the same thing in the same class, the same number of hours, but it's product of what's the natural wisdom you've built before now. So I advise people, sometimes when the mentor is too high, go and follow the lesser one. Follow his protege to qualify you for the main one. Many of us, that's why many of us don't need to follow me still. We don't follow Dr. K. I'm serious. Because sir, the high tension is too much. Elijah was saying, I'll kill Jezebel, I'll kill Jezebel. Just one small threat. He ran away. By the time he got to 1-3, he said, no, I want to die. No need. My life is worse than my father's. The angel came and said, my son, eat. The journey is far. The journey is far. That's what I want to tell you. See, the journey is far. Mentorship is a relationship for life. So it's not something let me just achieve. If I just hit diamond, if I hit this rank, boom. The journey is far. Tell somebody the journey is far.
The journey is far.
Number 2, proteges honor your mentor. This is where many proteges miss it. The proof of honor is sacrifice. Someone said, wisdom is the discernment of differences. And I agree. The ability to discern differences is a proof of your wisdom. The ability to discern that this person is not just a man that just came into your life, he is a mentor for life. It's a discernment, it's wisdom. It's also wisdom to discern when a superstar joins your team. He might not look like it. The same wisdom you need to use to discern. So this guy has potential. Listen, when I came to Miss Togo, I was not, you see pictures and promise me you will not laugh. Nothing. Miss Togo session was about $10,000 then, 2015. Yes. Ask me, I just finished youth service, reading about national youth service in Nigeria, like when I graduated, just maybe 3-4 years after I finished. So I was nothing. But the moment I heard Miss Togo speak, I've been a junkie of motivational word stuff. I've listened to everybody, John Maxwell, like I pursue personal development very well. When I heard him speak, and I knew this is what I want. I knew instantly. I pursued his space between April and that's where he spoke somewhere in an event. From that May, almost every month I'll call and keep up. I'll call. Who am I? I'm just a small boy now. I'll just call. It's December. That day,
I've planned my 2050 or 2014. I planned my 2050. I said, Lord, I need this man in my life. And I planned it out, whatever it would take. If it means empty my small account, I'll empty it and follow him. If he asks me to, just give me time to stay under your session. And you know what? As God will have it, December, I called him. January, first day of the month, to say Happy New Year. And he said, hey, you've been thinking about mentor. I said, yes, sir. Be in Lagos the next day. That's it. If you understand, over to Lagos, like 1 hour flight. By road is 8 hours journey. I didn't have money for flights then, so it's not the question. Just be in Lagos. All I ask, today is evening, just for me to get things together next day. By the upper one, say, okay, fine. That no questions asked. Nothing like, please, it's not next week. The next 2 days, December, you know, when during Christmas period, everything cut short, leave everybody for where they are, the family, boom, and disappeared. And that is the beginning of change for me. It was a revolution. How can you do mentorship without sacrifice? No, just sacrifice. Jesus said, how can you want to follow me? You must abandon father, mother. That thing was real. It's real. Jesus himself, his own father came in his own session. And his own mother and children, want to claim Jesus. We are his brothers and sisters. And I say, hey, don't call Jesus for us. Now, he's not our. See Mary here, see my brother and sister. We are, that kind of, when you are speaking and superstar and your mother had to see you. No, if you read that way, Jesus was not a nice man. Indeed. He looked at the guy that came to message. You know how protocol, your mother and father want you, and their mind, he would leave and go and see them. Tell all of you. He said, who is my mother and father? No, imagine that statement if your own child makes it to you. Who is my mother and father or my sibling? They are the only ones do the will of my father. As far as I'm concerned, is this one's there. Mentorship with Ikelo. Peter asked Jesus one day, he said, for all these things that we do, we've left everything. He really left business, leave his boat to follow. Mentorship will demand a lot from you. But then was Peter not better off as an apostle than doing fishing? He was. I remember in 2020, during the NSAS movement in Nigeria, we still was having a session in Benin. My friend from the blue, that someone that I respect so much, was wedding. And he had put me his mentorship. I had bought the materials and I've sold my clothes. Mr. Hugo said I should come to Benin for a session. It's important. Session started by Tuesday or Wednesday. Came in and I've been pleading, oh God, let this stop by Friday so I can go for his wedding on Saturday. In fact, I even told him ahead of time, he just didn't say anything. By that Friday, I was like, please, in the morning, let me go for this guy's wedding. I'm men on suits. We are counted. I even had to call. He said, you're not going anywhere. You have to be in this session. That's the end. I just told my brother, I said, I can't come for a wedding again. My guy said I should be here. The guy, when spark up and down, that's the end. He called the phone. When I told myself, two things, either I lose you or I lose the mentor. This one is sentimental attachment. It's nothing I do for me. It's friendship. So
any event that can go on, if we're not there, you're not necessarily in the first place. Any event that can still go on if you're not there, you are not necessarily in the first place.
Please write this thing down. This is a parameter for judging priorities for me. I just checked it. I want
that can still go on if you are not there. You are not necessarily in the first place. If you're that important, you move the event.
As he was saying, it's very I want to go and do this. Just ask me, if you didn't go that thing, will it happen? And yes, it will happen, but this is my friend. Decide. But you know what? All of those things happened. And I was not there. And nothing happened. Nobody died. Didn't even remember this show. After 1 year, it was continuing relationship. And for me, it was better. I called the guy one day. I said, even if you miss Karen wine to come and say your wedding and put envelope, you will appreciate him more than that your presence. So mentorship is important. Third thing, I say, come with questions, not problems. I've explained that before, right? I've explained that there's no need going around it. Who is a real prodigy? A real prodigy is a serious learner. That's what prodigy is about. He's a learner. He's a learner. That's the first and foremost. You know that you have just entered into a learning relationship, and your job description is learning. You learn everywhere, you learn everything. If that does not look like your passion, you won't go find this journey. You will drop by the wayside. A protege, like I said here, it's not one who learns from a mentor, but one who loves to learn from the mentor. It's not enough to learn. You have to love learning in the relationship for it to work. That's why we can be in sessions and it's 11 p.m. Nobody is shaking. By 5 a.m. we have continued life. So some people just asked me one time, your life, someone come to the house and like, so your life is just this thing, just book, and then like, it's boring. I'm having fun. I smell that say it's boring. I'm having fun. I'm having fun in life. So what makes people shiver? Like you just sit down and see the whole world, like it's not no big deal. Hello.
Hi.
It has to be a discipline. Learning. A protege is one who needs advice. It's not one who needs advice, but the individual who needs advice. I know a lot of people that come to meet us and say, hey, you need advice, I need advice. Those people, as I'm growing, I remember I'm also having people mentoring, right? And because of what Mr. Good did for me, I thought about it that I could do the same for others. I could be a step-down transformer. So I started a mentoring group for some young people, about 14 of them. Every month they come to my house, we talk, deal with them on Saturday for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, and they go. And they're happy. Because in my mind, if Mr. Go didn't do this for me, what would that have been? Now, what qualifies you to be in that circle? It's not the fact that we have a lot of young people who talk a lot of things, mentorship, advice. But how many young people go back to do what was told them? That's where the problem is. We have a lot. The Bible says, don't be a forgetful hearer, but be a doer. We have people who listen, people who hear. And that's why people have come up. I don't know if they say it here, all these motivational speakers, they say it here. Let me tell you, people that say that are frustrated people. They are frustrated people. They are disobedient people. They are very, what I ask them, which one is not working? If you bring any principle that they share that's not working, let's ask them, how many times have you applied this? And Mr. Go say, lazy man is not man who does not work hard, but the man who cannot hold an idea long enough to produce products and services. They are lazy people. They're lazy people. So you have one principle. If you this, you be this, you this, this. So you now want to go and try one business. If you come back, motivational people, you know they work. Funny. A protege is not one that flocks around the mentor, but one who understands the priorities of the mentor. Flocking around people is not a sign of closeness. Proximity is good, connectivity is better. Please repeat that. Proximity is good, connectivity is better. I don't live in Lagos, but I understand Mr. Go's heartbeat. And I'll show you how that happens. See, Bible called David a man after God's heart. That's what he is. A man after God's heart. He was in the bush. He was not in the palace where God located him. You know what? He understands the priorities of God. He understood it. So you can be anywhere and be connected. You can be in Ghana and be very connected. I said mentorship is a relationship, and every relationship has giving and what? Receiving. Usually by default, the mentor is the giver, and the protege is what? The receiver. And like Mr. Go will teach us, the condition for receiving is submission. If you are not submitted or you're not submissive, you cannot receive. So the problem usually when you have a mentor who has all you want, the problem is not from the mentor, the problem is your ability to receive.
Mm, mm.
No. Please, one more. Giving and receiving in a mentorship relationship happens in different degrees based on the phase of that relationship. I'll say it again. Giving and receiving in a mentorship relationship happens in different degrees based on the phase, PHASE, of the mentorship relationship. So I will give you the phases of mentorship in a mentorship relationship and the activities that happen under them. Does it make sense?
Yes.
And then I'll close with that. Like I said, there are 3 phases of mentorship. And these are the 3 phases. I will explain them. I was under Mr. Ugo's mentor, David Enite, when he was teaching the 4 types of knowledge. The first type of knowledge he mentioned was learning knowledge. Second is activity knowledge. Third is modeling knowledge. Fourth is teaching knowledge. Now, I understand that you can gain these various types of knowledge based on the phase of mentorship you are under with your mentor. Don't jump the process, and I'll show you. So, in apprenticeship, that's the first phase when you come into a mentorship apprenticeship. You know, an apprentice is like an idiot. You know, apprentice, just like an idiot. You don't know when you think of apprentice, real apprentice in life. When you think of apprentice, now what happens in the first phase? You gain 2 types of knowledge. You gain learning knowledge and activity knowledge. So you learn everything you can, you apply. But the second phase of supporting, you gain modeling knowledge, because that's the moment he will be with you to help you do or see what he's doing, or as he's doing it for you to learn. Modeling knowledge. But the last level of knowledge, which is teaching knowledge, you gain it when you enter the partnership phase of mentorship. And Mr. was teaching me something about forces of intelligence. So I remember, like, there's one he mentioned is that there's action, the one that comes from action, and there's one that comes from experience. Have you heard that before? From him? Okay, great. So, I mean, that makes so much sense. If you compare what I'm saying now, the fact that you slap someone, you can explain slap. You can explain psychology of slap. You have knowledge of slap. But if you have not been slapped, that knowledge is not complete, right? That's what happens in teaching knowledge. So modeling knowledge, you have seen slap, you can describe it. But by teaching knowledge, you have slapped and been slapped back. So you can tell the 2 sides. And that happens at the last phase of mentorship. And I'll share my story as I go on this. Or maybe I could share it now. Thank you, sir. So in the first 4 years of meeting Mr. Ugo, first of all, I met Mr. Like I said, 2014, actively took on mentorship January 2015 with him. Now that period, you see, I stayed under Mr. Ugo for almost 5 months. What I mean, that 5 months is like every day. Every day. I was doing masters, I left it. Then and it was supposed to. It was far better. Honestly, it was, and it's still. Now, those periods, I learned so much. That was, remember, learning knowledge. I learned so much. I dedicated diaries to Mr. Ugo. That's, let me not go into that part. One day, my diary was stolen. And I was the thief called. I begged the paper. I didn't tell you about this. I told you how much I was willing to pay just to return my diary. Why I didn't pay is that the fact that I just saw that these guys have taken my money over and over without return. I thought if you place it somewhere I can see, I'll make sure you receive your alert when you return it. So I've sent new diaries since then. Just I have diary for Mr. Ugo. Diaries for Mr. Ugo, not just diary. I keep. Now, learning knowledge, it's very powerful, which you gain by that time. Now, in the first 5 months, like I said, I was just under him, learning all that I can. It was too much. I wanted to explode. Then I left for the season to go and do activity knowledge. So once in a while, I will reach out. I not separated. I moved to another town. Luckily, he also came to the town because he was touring the whole Nigeria then. But I was not less. Those times I was not even working with him. I was not less following than people that were in there. How? and I'll explain. You know what I did? Everything I've learned from Mr. Hugo was revolutionary. I needed time to digest them. So I didn't just digest. That year, I wrote 2 books. And I wrote it in 3 months. I wrote it in 3 months. So very soon when you see me publishing books like what I say, how I've written books like from that time till now, I've written 5 books. Yes. And there's no book that you open that you won't hear Mr. Hugo. If I want to write down, I want to call the great dad and good dad. He's my biological dad. Because everything I know is him. I don't feel like maybe my father will not say, you don't reach like that. You don't reach like that. That activity knowledge was very powerful. I stayed there those periods digesting, writing, all those things. The things he has taught was there, but I had to put them in my words, to do them in my life. For 2015, 16, 17, the Bible said in Ezekiel, thy words came unto me, and I did eat them. I ate those words. I ate my diet. And next thing I did those periods was, all the books Mr. Hugo recommended, I read them. All. I was not following him then after I withdrew because I was working another place. But I read all the books. Now, it's in reading those books that I was understanding him more. And okay, so those times we're talking, I said, you used to buy this book and read it, you will continue talking. I wrote down those books and I was looking for some of those books. Took me 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, 5 months. I was calling people in Kaduna, please, have you seen they are calling Lagos? They were bringing those books. I read all of them. So there's a point I read. I called Chinedu. He was still working with you then. I called Chinedu. I said, Chinedu, have you read this? I said, go and read this book. I don't need to read that book because some of the things he was, at the point, the kind of treatment he was getting, he was feeling like, oh God, Mr. has killed me. And if you read this book, you understand what Mr. is doing to you. And he read it that period and said, okay, that's is part of the process. So some of the things that, you see, like I said, so is how the level of submission that will make you benefit from this mentorship. Some of the things that you call wicked, if you study what he studies, you will understand why he's saying it. Then it will be easier for you to apply. So I went to apply. By the next phase, which around 2018, I could say I entered supporting phase. So Mr. Hugo wanted to form a new company. He called me, said, come and be in the sessions. I was privileged being in the sessions. It has to do with someone that's seen a high level of followership. And let me tell you, a mentor knows if you are obeying his word or not. He knows. You know why? If the last time he left you, you came back, you come back, and you don't come back better, he knows that you did not improve. So if you actually read the books he says you should read and apply those things, you are supposed to be better. If you had a conversation with you last year, by this year, you're having another conversation, like the conversation should improve. You should be seeing results, that's what makes him endeared to you. That's what makes him say, do this, or he will do it for you. He's seeing results. By then, you are moving the ladder of knowledge. Does it make sense?
Yes.
But if you're not moving the ladder on the ladder of knowledge, you'll be stagnant. You call his line, you will not pick it. They hear I'm busy, please call back. And you do it for 1 month. So apprenticeship, let me explain the first phase. Apprenticeship. 3 major activities go on in this phase. It's a period of quantum learning. That's what you should know here. 3 major things is instructions. You receive instructions. I think it was the Bible in 1 Timothy that said that the word of God, the scripture is for what? Reproof, correction, training, and instruction. That the first of all,
the man of God may be adequate and approved
so
for every good work.
The believer might be perfect, right? Now, it's important to note that of the 4 things Apostle Paul noted in that scripture, 3 refer to instructions. Only 1 was teaching, which is doctrine. It means 75% of scripture is instruction. So the first gate to enjoy a mentorship relationship is to obey instructions. In the military, say obey the last order. That's why you come in as an apprentice. What other word did I use for an apprentice? Idiot. Don't come into mentorship, start arguing. Come and no, see, this is not what my pastor taught you. You gotta stay with your pastor now. You don't come in like that's not you behave. See, Robert Kiyosaki said that a truly intelligent man is a man who can hold 2 contrasting ideas in his hand without losing his sanity. You've heard the pastor, you've heard your father, he came to the mentor, and then he's saying this thing, and keep it. Like I've talked about Mary, say, and she kept it in the midst of her heart. Keep it in your heart. Some things you will not understand. Time will make you understand. So coming, obeying instruction, not to argue. Obedience is your ticket under here. Obedience. You obey instruction. You don't argue instructions. Delayed obedience is disobedience. So even if you say, I don't take time, now it's disobedience. Obey. See, when you make the mistake, it's his mistake. I'm telling you, it's his mistake. The instructions a mentor gives comes as a result of his experience and expertise. You know what? I've read all the books. Great. Those books he told us to read. They are the books that the knowledge he used to achieve. If you know what Mr. was in MLM, oh God, he broke all the ranks, break up in this world. You know when someone finished all the ranks and now can say, I'm not doing again. My brother, follow that person. In our place, then follow who know route. So when he's talking to you, listen. That's why your mentor should have a result. If you don't obey his instructions, you won't qualify for the next level. That's why you must obey. And he will know you obey. Because if you obey, it will show in your life. Next thing you do in apprenticeship is to listen to his teachings. Listen to teachings. People just come and they're asking questions or arguing. Don't do that. You need to soak in the man's philosophy. Soak it in well before you come to the point to start. Is this? You will say a lot of things. It might be sounding gibberish. Keep taking them in. Keep taking them in. See, Jesus said, some of the things I need to go so I can send the Holy Spirit. Then you understand. So for 3 years, many are not understanding. But it's fine. But as he left, experience that happening, those words start coming out. The Bible says, and they remember that he said it. So keep soaking. It's the first time you get into a mentorship relationship, it's a point of soaking. You still will not be in Ghana for long, but go to his materials. Well, as we were coming from airport, Doc was with his material. Like you can see Doc spitting fire, like Mr. Go. Why? Because he has been soaking in. He has been soaking in. So keep soaking. And he's sharing, at the level of teaching, the mentor shares his knowledge. He shares his expertise and competence, and also his thought process. Mark that word, his thought process. These are things you learn from his teachings. You need to learn how he thinks. Cherish the words of a mentor. So when you are coming before a mentor, come prepared. If you don't have your tab for notes, come with this one. If you want to make, diary, that's what I was raising. If you want to gain more from a mentor, be writing as he's talking. Write as he's talking. If someone's waiting 5 minutes, it was 10 to 20. Who wants to give words where it's no value? Who? We're in the days of energy conservation. Of course, mentors are busy. Now be giving you and say it's true, everything. Just when it's true, that thing say it's true. Then people will come back. Hey, that thing you said, what is it said? You go ahead. You know, some people just as they hear, just type on Facebook quotes. That's all. You just go on Facebook. Okay, Facebook will clap for you because people use that think it's you that said it. But you know results in your life. By the time you meet him again, say, that thing, I heard it before. I can't complete it. These statements, I'm telling you, I've read them over, I've listened over and over. So I don't need my note to tell you his words. The words did come on to me and I eat them like food. So take notes when he speaks.
Take notes.
Always take notes. If you are cut off guard, type it on your tab or your phone. When you get back, transfer to your diary. It shows value for his words. Revise them and apply them. Don't just write, revise them and apply them. I sit down and see, meditation is real. There's sometimes, see, this word he said, that your outcome is not determined by your effort or by definition. I meditated on that word for more than 1 year. It's not like I understood in parts, but as the things I'm doing now is making me understand that word deeper. So if you don't write it down, why will you meditate? So by the time you will have need for that word, you've forgotten it. That escaped your mind or awareness, then it is gone. Last thing to do in apprenticeship is close observation. When you come into a place, please observe. Be gentle as a dove, but what? Wise
Wise
as a
as
serpent.
serpent.
What does serpent do? A snake can come in here and stay here for a whole day and not make any noise, monitoring everybody's movement. That's what that scripture is telling us. Observation is very important. There are so many things a mentor will not tell you. He expects you to learn it by observation. Check people that have been there before you. Some things till now, I just want to ask, what do you think about this thing? If I bring it to Oga, Danny is always with Oga. Always. Danny knows the heartbeat. Secret. Something you just say, that's why, forgive me, let me use this one. That's to reduce your fuck up before Oga. Is that you can always observe. When it's confusing, call someone close and ask. So you won't come and be giving him unnecessary troubles. This one, and like you're giving him problems. So every time you're coming smooth solutions, talk, and things are moving because you observe them. See, if you observe, what you observe his body language. When he doesn't like something, he doesn't have to say it. Just know his face has changed. No, this face has changed. His energy has dropped. You know, say something as he's not happy here. For Mr. He's a person of excitement. He loves excitement in his environment. If in a place and there's no excitement, he won't like that place. I either move you. If you're someone you're talking too much or saying things that are anti his philosophy, and it's me that's controlling the space, I have to tell him, please, can you wait for us outside? It's very important. I have to wait. You have to observe those things. And you know what? The mentor take notes. Everybody wants someone that will shape pain from them without them even saying it. What else do you observe? Observe his values. I've observed his Togo's teaching. Many people call Mr. Togo big businessman, big business. One of the major things Mr. Togo teaches is vision. He cannot even teach you anything with that vision. That's one of the major things I discover here. Vision and knowledge is the pillar I know Mr. Togo. Every other thing stems from those things. So understand his value. If you know his value, from all this, I just tell you that his value in life is number one, purpose, number two, knowledge, from my observation. He just like wants to do the first thing, what is your objective? What do you want to achieve? He doesn't do it, this is good. Like, what is your aim at the end? Like, he always refer back to what you want to achieve. From that one, I say, are you doing it based on knowledge or by popular opinion? These are two major things I observe from him. So observe. Another thing to observe is philosophy. How he thinks things, how he takes things, his approach to things. Observe his body language, observe his facial likes and dislikes. That's what you do. That's what you do in observation. Everywhere you keep observing. See, some people that those people, they are not his good book. So when that person is telling you something about him, know that person is not. The fact you see him laughing with the person, you know that there's some laughter that is just from here, just to please the person. You should want to observe those things too. What's this? 2015. That's me. 2015. I told you guys, promise not to laugh. You just wrote that point. Not too much. That's me. What was I doing? Taking instruction. Jamie that's talking now, they're clapping, they're shouting. That time, my job is a registration desk officer. And you do it with joy. It's a privilege. It doesn't matter. By the time I met you, I was like, I want to change the world. This is what I should be doing. In my mind, I wanted to be talking to. But that's what I say we should do. And that's what I will always do. Taking instruction. Today, it's my honor to now be talking and Mr. Go is sitting. Last night, the dreams come true. Last night I could not sleep. The fact that I'm going to be talking, I wish he was going out. But it just happened. So get ready. There's always a time for it. Obey instruction at your time. The next phase is supporting phase. 3 major activities: delegation, coaching, and recommendation. At the level of delegation, he assigns certain delicate tasks to you. So I was registering people that time. I could not introduce Mr. Ugo. Like, introduction, say, let us welcome. I could do it though, but I've not been tested with it under him. So all those I can do, I can talk. He has to test you too. But when I passed the first test, I was introducing him. If I show the next slide, you will see where I was introducing him. See me again. Thou shalt not laugh. See me now introducing him. That's after I passed the first test. Let's go back. Now today, today I'm not talking. I've gone to heaven. This is heaven. Number 2 is coaching. What happens in coaching? At the level of coaching, you can now ask questions. Sir, why do you say I should do this? But in the level of apprenticeship, you don't ask any jack. Just take it. But when you pass that level, you can now answer. Now we're going to Ghana. Why did you write VIP? Why not? You can ask those questions. But in the beginning, don't, because the questions are plenty. But the truth is this: if you stay longer under his teaching, his instructions, and all those things, you would have found 80% of those answers. So why taking him through those stress? And I said this popular thing I used to write in my diary based on relationship. I write it down. Some things are better caught than taught. It's best you catch some things than wait to be taught those things. It's better caught than taught. Caught, like you caught it, than you were taught. Some things are better caught than taught. When you catch something, that's something like, okay, when that kind of, as if the whole revelation happened to you, it's better than someone is trying to say, have you understand? No. You do it again. Do you understand? No. You go again. Do you understand? No. It's just on your own. You heard it just on your own. Then it happens. We call it Eureka moment. Eureka moment just exposes. You now have even deeper revelation of the thing beyond what was taught. So some things are better caught than taught. Don't always expect to hear something from question and answer. Think deep. You get the answers. Thought activity, recommendation. The mentor at this level can now suggest you at certain quarters. Suggest you to certain people. I say, yes, he can do this. So don't someone say, you're my mentor, why not you recommend me for this? How has it tried you? Even Jesus said, I'll try you. The man of God must be what? Thoroughly equipped. I said, must try you now. So that's me. I've seen this before. Now this is me. This is the mentor's mentor. Oh, that's Monkey Banana. Meeting the grand mentor. David Monite. That's my following. Now, that's my son. That's my son. He can snap picture with me because I have passed through some doors, right? Now, in 2021, I was so frustrated because I wanted to do one of my program called the Way Business Week. I told you we run an organization called Bedrock Initiative. Now, Mr. Hugo is one of the major reasons why I could even dream of doing that thing. That the fact that I said he's behind me. I said, if no guest speaker comes and he comes, it's okay. I'm so comfortable that now in planning program like that, my brother, there's no fun, there's no support. People you are bringing are even your enemies again. I was at home. I was so disappointed. I didn't know what to do. No, I just came to the house. That period you came to the house, bed rejects you. You can't lie down. You can't sit down. I went and pulled out a mat, laid on the mat. Inside my heart, I was praying I should fall terribly ill so that I can cancel the program. I was doing that, I was just thinking the shortest way out of this frustration. I wish just 4 years. I was funding the sickness. I was doing this thing and I slept off in that position. I didn't know a friend of mine came into the house, snapped me like this, like one guy suffering. I left. I didn't know. I only saw that picture when I woke up in my phone. When he came to the house, I was like one rejected man. Then I woke up and I told him, what's my problem? She Mr. Hugo is coming. When I remember Mr. Hugo is coming, I speak to him. Mr. Hugo will tell me something. You know what? I'm behind you in that program. So that's assurance. Say, okay, no problem. We'll make it. I'll show you how that program ended. This is that program. Now see Mr. Hugo. See, when he flew in, like my mind calmed down. I see Mr. Hugo is here. Like I don't say he's around, no problem. This is the hall. You can see people in that hall. This is the hall. This happened October 2021. When we finished this program, Mr. Hugo said, you know what? say you've passed this level. In my mind, I've stretched all I can to do this one. Say you passed this level. October, I was thinking I'll take another 1 year to plan that one. It was supposed to be a yearly, but I said no. February, do the next one. And February, what? I'm trying to resonate from this one. I'll show you that one. But then look at this quote. Who knows Bruno Fernandes here? We know Bruno Fernandes. He joined Man U and changed the game in 2020. This is what he said, because he was the only guy that made Man U club come alive in 2020 when he joined. And he was playing ball Saturday, he will play, midweek he will play. Like every 3 days, he was playing 90 minutes. He was the only fixed player playing every day. So press asked him, how are you coping? This is what he said. He said, for me, the most important thing is playing. Fernandes told club media in an exclusive interview, when the coach wants me, what do I do? It's important to know I'm ready to play. How many games? Every game, every minute. Most players were protesting on his behalf. He's okay. He said, no, I will never say I'm too tired to play because this is my dream. I will never be tired to play. When I was a kid, I played maybe 7 or 8 hours a day. So to play 90 minutes every 3 days or 2 days is not enough for me. When I read this thing, that in 2020, I read it. I copied it. I didn't know I'll be teaching this thing today, but it was in my archive. When he told me I teach it today, I went to bring it out. Because somebody asked me, how do you manage to do this? And I don't know. I can't explain it. When I saw it, I said, it's true. When I was small, I used to crave knowledge. I used to crave good mentors. I used to crave greatness. When I see greatness now, why would you be tired of what you used to crave for? So these moments that is, those lonely moments where nobody's watching, no spotlight is on you, there are times to get grounded. There are those moments when I was a kid, I played maybe 7 or 8 hours a day. No joke. I don't know how many of us played ball like that. As a child, like as children, we used to play, we wake up in the morning and play. We wish our parents never come back. I played at night. He used to. He played. So now you're giving him 80 minutes. So you better, that's why I say the journey is far. It should better be your thing. You really want to do this thing for you to do it. So said to me when I joined that business, he said, I'm not going to tell you not to join. The people I said that came to coach me. He said, I don't want to tell you not to join if you want to join. But what I want is sit down. Is it really what you want? I think about it. If it is what you want, then I'll support you. I sat there, I thought about it. And it's not what I want. I'm not sure I will give it this energy I'm giving this. So I left. And it's Warren Buffett that will say, if you cannot buy a stock and hold it for 10 years, don't buy it for even 1 year. So be sure you are ready for the long term. Next phase is what? Partnering. See me now from that woman. The last time picture, it's good suit and looking nice. This just happened a few weeks before we came. May 15th. No, May 14th. We're still in May. May 14th. This month. Middle of this one. This is May 14th. Behind you see that in over a business week. And this event was massive. So what happens in partnering or partnership relation phase? Conversation, referral, contribution. At the level of conversation, you can engage your mentor in constructive debates. And Mr. Go will tell you that the reason why we argue is not to win, but to make the idea better. So you like sometimes we say something, you agree with it. Every someone you're meant to agree with you. I think you are right. You're like, I've made it that day. So but you engage in those debates respectfully. It's when you are talking, the mentor gives you space. So let's talk. You have to say, no, sir. No, don't say that. You can't even engage in such conversation if you don't engage in the first 2 phases. Remember, you can't, because you are still arguing with him based on what you learned from him. Say, but you said this before, so this thing is not countering this. They okay. No, it won't be like that. Even God said, "Come, let us reason together." The problem is not in the reasoning. The problem is in the coming. Can you come? Can you really come and reason together with God? That's where the problem is. He said, it's the Bible, Isaiah. Come, let us reason together. The mentors want to reason with somebody. And sometimes the safest route to reason with them is to proteges. That's why when you meet an unconventional person like Mr. We are his friends. Like Mr. does not hang out with people most times. We are his hangout. It's safer for him. He's sharing knowledge. Is what keeps him going. Is his knowledge he's giving. Is his life. So to start posting another friend for him is difficult too. Very difficult. Number 2 is referral. At the point of referral, he makes definite recommendations. Remember, the recommendations, he's making suggestions here. He's making definite. It's definite. Suggestion before now is definite. He's telling people, go and use this person. He's tested. In fact, some things come, he just channel them to your opportunities. But I discover some of us meet a mentor. First time you're asking, sir, this thing you are doing, can't I do? I can do it now. Bring it to me. Bring it. He can train the whole Nigeria. It's not time. He knows when is your time. Calm down. Even if you think you're right, he has to prove it. He has to try you. Now, in a way, one of his mentees, Mr. Somto, he told me, now I'm not sure the masterclass flyer is here. You see me, Somto is one of his mentees. He said, put him in the flyer. Our masterclass is huge. 150,000 a day. For me, if you allow me, just Mr. Hugo that on the flyer. I said, put it to my son, Somto. Somto is so grateful. He came to where he teaches on blockchain technology. You can only gain such access when he has tried you. And he was saying it because he allowed him to do a training, a starting training before that, and said he's going bring him. And people that came for that class were really blessed. It's a result of consistent followership. Today now is my turn. I'm in Ghana. Thinking I come and teach mentorship. I'm not an international speaker now. The last part of it is, go ahead, Dari. Yeah, no, go ahead. Find what you're looking for. Contribution. At the level of contribution, this is huge. That's when you can attract a sponsorship. You can try to put any investment on you, whether finance or whatever, at that level. This is the last lap. You guys are partners. Because every mentor also wants something. Yes, thank you, Dari. This is our masterclass. This is so dope. That's one of Mr. Go's mentee. Now the same master. It wasn't. We had a 3 days program. One was for students. That's where we'd have thought it would be. Second was general. This master class. The price is not in this one. No protest. 150,000. Something is so grateful. Today, I also share my story with them. I am so grateful. So look at it. Look at the price. Early bird 100K. Ticket fee 150K. It's 1 day. 1 day. Date should be here. This is like $300. 300. It's $300. 150,000. $300. Yeah. Just on Sunday. $300. I cannot. Thank you, Tari. So, like I said, contribution. This event, can I tell you, 85% of the event was sponsored by Mr. Gucci. Guys, celebrate him for me. 85%. He attracted sponsors, spoke to people to go and give money. They gave money because of him, not because of me. He came to this event. He spent 3 weeks. Mr. Go, I've counted this as I knew. You've never spent that length of time in a way. He said, okay, already you will never, which is his hometown. He has not. 3 weeks. Like people didn't know, just on his own. Just keep doing it. Just kind of what's going on. I mean, see, sometimes I just tell people, there's nothing that I could have done to end this. There's nothing. It just has to be someone who is interested in your success and growth. And the only way you could end it is you don't force it. It grows. If you follow the phases, you get to that point. He will do anything for you. Does it make sense?
Yes.
This is Mr. Hugo last year. After his teaching, he brought out all the resource persons and he had them endorse me. All of them are saying good things about me. From that day, my social capital shot up in that city. All the people that came were like, wow, if all these great were saying these things about you, I stopped accepting Facebook requests, except I know you very well, because you can't contain. I'm just saving it because of where we're going to. The space is small. Now, of course, days like this, everybody go on Facebook and go and find you. That became a celebrity overnight. But let me show you what happened. After that event, which is in October, this is October, right? He told me that we're having the next one by February. I'm like, sir, it should be another October now, 1 year, let's rest. Say no, immediately. You didn't start putting calls together. Start making call on my behalf, sponsors, attracting them on my behalf. This is somewhere in February. No, this is January. January this year. This is one of the sponsors. This is where he asked him, how much I bring you? He told him, this man has known me before him. He met him, Mr. met him at this event. I invited a resource person. But the truth is, I don't get power when you get people that are invited as resource person ended up paying for the masterclass to attend. My guest speakers, they paid to attend my next day. And now ended up becoming his mentee. This level, he said, these are people I could have been talking to. Can you support the event? They will tell you, they give you small 50K. But when mentor comes in, say, please, you need to support him. This guy gave us 500K. That's about $1,000. Because he knows it's not me who's looking at. If it's me, you give me anything. But someone, this is where he told him, you need to support this man. He called another person, you need to support this guy. That person dropped another 500,000. He also one of his mentees. There's no way they could have given me that money. There's no way they would have done it. That's the power of referral. But at this point, we're having conversation on how the event will be like. At this point, I was telling you what it will be like. Well, see me now sitting down like one big boy now, chilling with the big boys. When we now converse, right? We are partnering, Abi. We can converse. That's fine. Now, this is the event. This hall is about 500 to 700 people. Look at it. This is day. I didn't put day one. This is day two. Day one happened in students' environment. Day two, day three. Michelle was in the 3 days. And when I mean students, he wants with us to do. And not this why he was there. Like he was paying his bills. So he was paying his bills. Not like I brought. You know when you invite guests, you might take care of 3 weeks. He took care of himself. And give me Jara. Last time when I was going, he sent me money. So don't worry. Continue. Guys, no reason. No reason. You use that word, no reason. You understand what it means? Okay. Now, this is the SA to the governor of our state on youth. After this guy stayed here for 3 days. Oh, sorry. This guy is the SA to the governor on youth. This is me here. Now, this guy stayed for the event 3 days. You know, one SA, special advice politician, stayed for the event for 3 days. He was coming day 1, day 2, day 3. Then by third day, he came for masterclass and paid politician. And they said, I don't know if Ghana is like Nigeria. Our politicians are not maybe like your own. Our politicians are not elites. Like I understand that you push politicians are wearing. The elites on our side are those private sector. Politicians are the ones that those normal rascals in life, they end up becoming politicians. But he stayed, there's a quantum of value he was getting. And after this, he said, please, let's go to his office. He took us to his office. He said, just come and see my office. Take it as your office. What do you want me to do? We will do as you say. Now, what has happened? Value exchange. I'll show you more. This is the one that happened 2021. And this is 2022. How can you compare the leap? If I was allowed to grow this hall, less than 200 people came here. Here, almost 600 people. Sir, sorry. You can see the hall. It's bigger hall, it's a smaller hall. That's what mentor can do. Brought all the people. This is the same hall. This is just May 14th last. Paid. Now, this is Mr. Ogo in TEDx. You know about TEDx, right? This is last year TEDx. Now, I told you about designing a mentor. And I'm going to tell you how to deserve a mentor. There are certain things you can do for your mentor. So in our local community, we organize TEDx Ikenebu. TEDx again, one thing many speakers used to desire to go to. I mean, some people write it as part of their goals. Who's the first person I want to call? Mr. Ugo, of course. I just waited for the first edition that was not so nice. Second edition, that's the first name. Of course, TEDx. This is it. This is the event. It was huge. Over 600 people also attended. It's the same hall I used that was used for TEDx. You guys know this celebrity. If you know her, not the day, she was there too. She was a speaker. You can check it on YouTube. After I watched this on YouTube, type TEDx Ikenebu. Or watch type, you've watched it, okay, watch type Mr. Ugo's name on YouTube. It will appear. You see, follower. He said he has watched the program. Nobody has told him. Now the follower. Now, here you will hear Mr. Ugo's story in brief. In the next 15 minutes, you will hear his story. And you understand where he's coming from. And I'm sure when we had talked with this lady, she was real grateful meeting Mr. Ugo. For those who know her, she's quite very controversial figure in Nigeria. But meeting Mr. Ugo, I'm sure she's very loyal now. Very loyal. Now, to deserve a mentor, what do? You offer him service. You've desired a mentor, now deserve the mentor you desire. Offer him what? Offer him what? Service. How do you offer your mentor service? You serve him with your time. You need your time. Serve him with your ideas. If a mentor wants to have a program, for example, there's no way he will know everything and also be active on social media. Like Mr. Ugo will say, if you don't have money, you should have time. If you don't have money and you don't have time, I don't know what you are. You are finished. So with that time you have, at least you can be on social media, publicize his events on social media now. Is that not good service? Organize. Now we have an army. We are mobilizing all our volunteers army for Mr. Ugo. That's why all those videos we are asking you to give it to us. As I'm here, I'm typing, just pushing it out. Everybody online should be seeing my mentor going into the world. Service him with your networks. If you need anything in your network, why not? I need somebody that is a social media manager. It's you that should know that one. And you know everything more than him. I need someone that will polish my shoe. You should know better than him. Do you understand what I mean? So reach out to your network. What he called, he needs a good graphic designer. Immediately. I have a lot of boys who follow me that do design. I say, all of you conscripted to design anything you want. Just be doing it. Those are kind of things you can service your mentor with. I say, introduce him to anyone meaningful in your life that could be relevant to him or his work. Does it make sense? Use your social media for him. Serve your way up. And he said, it takes knowledge to decode knowledge. And sometimes, in the midst of the service, you get more knowledge about him. That's why you have to serve. And if you cannot afford his own philosophy or his knowledge is too high for you, like we've said, meet Dr. K. Meet other people here. Say, please, I can't follow this man. Let me follow you. You know what Apostle Paul said? He said, follow thou me, even as I follow Christ. People cannot follow Christ or follow me. I will show you Christ. So that's how you can serve your way up. As you're having a program tomorrow, I'll say, it's not Mr. Ugo, it's Dr. K. If you don't do that thing for him, you can't do it for him. So you have to come in, do it like it's our own. If you're doing it for Dr. K, listen, his recommendation is very powerful. If he tells Mr. Ugo, see this man, he's good. From that day, he might not tell you, but he has marked you. Everything you do or say, or even when you call him, he will pick your call just because of the word the man that is trusted put it for you. That's the power of serving your way up. So serve is an attitude of mentees. Then the second thing is validation. The result you produced validates the fact that he's real and the mentor is real, right? If you're not producing good results, people will call him bad names. So, like he's telling us, he's telling us and we'll be laughing. He said, I'm doing this thing for me. Because if you succeed, I've succeeded. It is true. He's telling you. It's truth. So, you being successful by using his words, tell him that I am doing well. Even who does not want to know he's doing well now? You want to live and see your product do well. That's the satisfaction of a mentor. So you have to give him validation by following his model and producing results in your own life. Not just always a problem. You think someone wants to associate with a failure? Who wants to associate with failure? Nobody, including a mentor. Now look at me. Look at me there, utilizing my network. When he came to Owerri, we were supposed to do an event just like this. And who is the first person that is me now? Everybody I know I conscripted into desk, ushering, protocol. Everybody I know was inside it. This is my network. Everybody. Some of these people today, they are still grateful to me because of this meeting. Am I done? Okay. Okay. Now, this is my own quote. I said, if you want to talk like your mentor, study his words. If you want to think like your mentor, study his thoughts. But if you want to know why he thinks and do the things he does, find his references. I'm constantly searching for the books he's reading. Just check the book he's reading. Because sometimes he will say, you know, when you say, I thought I've read your Maxwell, I thought I've read Lesman. But he's saying things you've never heard before. So now the people, which book is he carrying? Go and find out. When he enter his car, there's so many things I've learned just in his car. I remember one book, Prosperity Classics, used to play in those days. I found the book now. I read it all. It's okay. Just be following. You will not discover that that's the only way you can come up in the face of mentorship. Because you're reading what he's reading. When he's saying something, exactly things he will say here, I say, Kai, excitement will drop. If you're not following, his excitement drops. But if you're following, you stimulate him to give more. And that's what you do. So it's not only when you come to class, you get excited. So my friend said, don't get excited, get committed. So in class, get excitement. Some people go home and forget. Come to class again, empty excitement. But when you are coming to class next time, your excitement should not be based on emptiness. It should be based on the fact that I have gone home to understand that thing. Now I'm coming with a deeper excitement. So I'm not taking him back. You know what the Bible said about the Berean Christians? That they were more noble than the Christians in Thessalonica. Why? Because they went back home to search the scriptures. If those things that was taught was so. That's how you can be of importance to him. And that's how you can follow him more closely. So find his references. Go beyond. What does it mean? It means beyond being a mentor, beyond being mentored, and beyond all that, you can actually be bigger than your mentor. Who believes that? That's the goal. That's the goal. So I was saying, if your mentor was mentored or listened to or read or learned or trained by 10 people, and he's the 11th person, by the time you come as the 12th, you've accumulated the knowledge and wisdom of 11 people. Add to your own 12. Who's supposed to be greater? He's the 12th person. That's how it's supposed to be. So don't just stop at the point. So the thing is, it's good to follow someone like Mr. because at certain point you want to give up, but you can't give up. So there's my dog said something. He said sometimes you feel happy hearing someone has a problem. Let me explain. He said when he learned that what's his name, Michael Jordan cannot swim, he was happy. And there's something he cannot do. When Mr. Go said he's dyslexic, I got happy. I said, okay, I can catch up. Because how? You know when you're following, you've got to a point you cannot follow again. He said, no need, there's no need. But if you say, he told me that you were dyslexic, wow. Mr. Go said, I don't like reading. Have you heard that from him before? I never heard this before. That was like, how? You know, like how we've been following and we're like giving up on the books we're reading, saying there's no. I don't like reading, but write this down. Champions do what they hate to birth what they love. Champions do what they hate to birth what they love. To give birth, yes. So at one point, I was feeling like I want to mask him. I want to take all, like I want to imitate his teaching. Mr. Hugo is the only person. Okay, let me share my own weakness. I don't like classes. I don't like classes. Yes. I don't like classes. All the while I stayed in university, I didn't do lecture up to 50 times, 4 years. I'm that person that will go home and read on my own and pass. Class used to be boring for me. But Mr. Hugo is the only person I can sit under him for 8 hours. And I didn't know. I won't know. It's only him. So there's no need I stayed put. Now I was trying to say I want to teach like him. If you notice, I teach methodically. I'm a logical being. But Mr. Hugo teaches in such a way you won't know that you are number one or number two. And 8 hours. And so I'm like, I want to leave my own and start doing his own. So in that process of engaging him, he now told me something. He told me he does not just teach sequentially, he teaches in pictures. That's why he now made me understand that he's dyslexic. I said, okay, so he's a right brainer. I'm a left brainer by nature. I'm a logic person. I'm a person of sequence. Observe his teachings. He teaches in concepts. He can be on one concept 1 hour as well. So let me explain. I was telling some of my friends this thing. See, we do PowerPoints and we follow 1, 2, 3. I just feel like in Mr. Hugo's mind, all my PowerPoints can be one slide. That's like 15 PowerPoints, one slide in his mind. Like he see capture in the picture. Then by the time I finish 15, I'm tired. He starts PowerPoint slide 2. And that's how I read his mind. Because he sees in picture. Do you see his definitions? Like he gives you definition. I'm like, when are we going to get to this level? You should go sit down and teach. There's no notes, no distance. And you're quoting scriptures accurately. He's not a pastor. He will be giving you references, giving them. So at one point, I say, I want to imitate him. I've tried. Then when he told me that, and I come down. And so everybody is designed in a certain way. Purpose precedes design. If he's the right brainer, that's the way he's wired. Why I'm going somewhere? Okay, I'm going to start with authentic before I move to constrain your forces. What I'm saying, if you want to go beyond your mentor, you have to be authentic. That's what I'm trying to say. All your challenges, all your design, all your strength, all of them will work well if you are original. So don't ever get so absorbed in his presence that you lose your form. So absorb his knowledge, but maintain your authenticity. Even if talking like him doesn't make you look like him. Like we're sharing that some years back, some people that were also mentees. Let me stand and say this. Mr. Hugo has his own anointing. He has his own personal anointing that even if your president is here and he's talking, he will keep quiet. And you'll be wondering, like, he has his own presence. If you imitate him in that sense, like some people did, they got slapped. No jokes. No jokes. So don't ever try to do it like him. He has his own anointing. It's on him, his grace. So be authentic. That's why I can manage to be following my slide like this and be looking at it. If I try to just do his own, I'll be missing words. That's the only way you can go beyond is be authentic, be original. The second thing is to concentrate your forces. What do I mean? The more you grow, the more you need to limit the voices you listen to. Because many of them will be contrasting his philosophy. So tomorrow you come and asking questions you've asked 8 years ago because you were listening to something else that's possibly is kindergarten to him. So concentrate your forces. Let go some certain element. I hear people that say they read books like they used to read one book a week. And I said, if you read one book a week, in a year you should read 52 books. So why is your life still like this? So in that you're just reading, I don't know what they are reading. But there's certain points now when you have a mentor, you can't read some books. They are kindergarten. They will be kindergarten to you. Because instead of bringing kindergarten knowledge, start giving it to a mentor. No, jettison it. Find his own references if that's where you're going to and read. And then maintain that frequency of knowledge that he has brought you to. And ladies and gentlemen, I think this is where I will close the curtain. Thank you very much.
Wow. You made my life easy for me today. How many of you are tired? Okay, write this down. 4 people go home. 6 men go ahead. I thank you so much. You guys, it's amazing, guy. Please, can I get a picture with him right here? Down here, let me see on this side. Still on that, please. Let me get the whole process, please. Okay. Which men go ahead? Okay, this is nice. Please put down together for him again. Yeah, that's where you're going. That's where you're going. Yes. Yes. Amazing. 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 You are a blessing to me. You're a blessing to me. I was in a worry. I came down on the first time, the first event on the World Business School, or Business Week, was last year, and I just flew in. He told me about it. I have to support him. But the event itself was 3 days event. He had to do everything. I was working. I didn't give any help. I gave him was to fly in. So the confidence gave him the boldness to call anybody he wanted to call. So that day I saw that some people sponsored him, but the sponsorship they gave to him, in the bid to get some kind of presence, they were saying things that was not supposed to be said on that platform because they were politicians. So I said to him, you're already satisfied with the fact that you do this to yourself, you're not afraid, the standard was powerful. Next year, it's not going to be on your shoulder anymore, which is last year. When I came into, this year, right? So when I came in, I've got sponsors, they got over $10,000 in sponsorship. And it was just fine. And even at that, I came in 2 weeks before, and I was not in his bill. So that he can have the autonomy to do what he wanted. And nobody knew I was in town. I was in town, but nobody was not official. I was at the airport. Now, mine was to make sure that he does things by the standard of what he. And I stayed away because I didn't want to influence it. I wanted to be his expression, but he could be his own. So when it was time, 2 days to the event, I have to shut. Then they announced I'm in town, but I've been in town like 2 weeks before. So you asked me to stay wherever I want to stay, the hotels I wanted to stay. I didn't want to stay in the other because I didn't. You know what makes a man wealthy or rich is how simple your life is. The simpler your life, the richer you become. Right now, a poor man's life is complicated. He has too many needs. The wealthy man has his needs already met. So, but out of honor, he got a beautiful 5-star hotel for me, out of honor. And I know that the only way I took that was because if I accepted it to be an honor for him, and it was because he was in the same hotel the event were having. So after the event, I have to ask him about his accountant. He separated the event accounting from his own personal account. So on the second day, he taught what makes a company great, the soul of a company. What he was teaching like this, I was seeing another thing. He gave me soccer. What's soccer? That's what soccer is. Consolation. That I have a replacement already. I have a successor already. 2 days ago, on the radio with Dr. Kelly, I found my successor already. His words were deep. I didn't have to do too much explanation. I had to reserve my brain for Sunday. You understand? Because he was already, I felt the burden of explanation lifted. But there's someone already who's already practicing what I was doing. So when I was going to Ghana, as my home. You know what I mean? And it's important to understand that your progress validates my absence. You know what I said?
Yeah.
What I said? You know what I said? What did I say?
Your progress validates.
Oh God, but for that guy. Oh, which means I don't have to be in Ghana to be in Ghana. The resources of Ghana belongs to Ghana. I don't have to take it. Oh, don't get that. That's what I'm saying. Because the virtue God gave to man is for each residence, for each location has it. For God to put you here, there's a reason. God, I mean, there's a reason, right? And there's always enough resources for every location. But if I come and you're not listening, if I come and you're not taking note, if I come and you're not practicing, if I come, you lock me in prison. Guess what happened? I'll leave. So, thank you, Mr. Ikena. Please switch hands again for Ikena. So what we're going to happen is, tomorrow, we're going to have a lot of fun. Tomorrow we're going to have a lot of fun. And tonight, you want to get ready and